Well, Hurricane Katrina may have happened 17 years ago, but some people still live with daily reminders of the storm.
Erica Ferrando shows us one home that hasn't been touched since the floodwaters drained and explores what the city is trying to do to get a grip on these problem properties.
We shouldn't have to deal with this. We had water about here.
After water rose along Beekman Road in New Orleans East during Katrina.
Oh, I had to gut it out. It was totally gutted out. We did.
Warren Mitchell's home needed a lot of work. So did his next door neighbors.
Well, that fell apart.
It still does.
All this fell apart with Katrina. The water probably made this go bad. You might get shooting and see what we're dealing with.
Mitchell says the woman who lived there died shortly after Katrina and no one ever came back.
Her house right here has never been touched since Katrina. It's never been gutted out. All the furniture is still in there.
Mitchell wants the home demolished.
It's taking the value down of our property, and it's an eyesore. And I have grandkids. I got to keep them from coming over here. I got children in the block. Children live next door. Children live across the street. That's our big concern. And my other concern is somebody might go in there and start a fight.
He worries something like this could happen. Earlier this year, 3 vacant homes burned down on Eagle Street in Holly Grove. The NOFD said vagrants were likely to blame. Neighbors say they had been reporting the properties for years.
They never was boarded up after Katrina, since Katrina. We always had people going in and out of them, you know, so something like this is bound to happen.
After those homes burned down in May, the city said they then posed an imminent danger and met conditions for emergency demolition. You can see what was left has since been knocked down, and these lots are now empty.
But neighbors tell me this home next to those now empty lots has also been sitting abandoned since Katrina.
You multiply that times 30, 40, 50,000, or even more pieces of property. We got to find a way to grow this town, incentivize investment, and get more people here so that vacant homes and vacant lots become a place where someone builds or lives or runs their business. Ultimately, that's the answer.
Councilmember Oliver Thomas says he understands the frustration, but these are just a few of thousands of abandoned properties across the city.
And this is what I think a lot of people forget. New Orleans used to have 640,000 people who lived in this city. Now the city only has 391,000 people. There's still more vacant lots and more blight than there are people to clean it up. That's math.
The city of New Orleans tells us they aren't ignoring the issue. So far this year, 67 demolitions have occurred, including the blighted La Quinta Inn in New Orleans East.
No longer is our city the nation's capital, I would say, for blight.
Just over the next 2 months, code enforcement is scheduled to hold more than 130 hearings on blighted properties. In the Upper 9th Ward, an abandoned home was demolished next to Michelle Broomfield's home.
The roof had actually fell on the ground. And when the house started leaning is when I finally got in touch with somebody to come and knock it down.
That was a decade ago, but the empty lot didn't stay empty for long.
Like I said, it was a cute little shrub at first.
It grew enough to damage her roof in Hurricanes Zeta and Ida.
They said nobody can really touch it because it's a private lot. And I was told if I cut it, I could be fined for it.
While this lot may not qualify, the city has initiatives to try and clean up overgrown lots, including the Mow to Own program that started in 2021. It gives those who live next to a vacant lot first dibs to own it if they mow it.
You know, one of the things I think we need to be more intentional about is properties that are affecting residential neighborhoods that are still pretty viable, or properties that are affecting commercial and business growth. We need to be a little more intentional about making sure those properties don't drag down the rest of the neighborhood.
So residents like Mitchell can feel proud to have their grandkids over to play.
Oh, it means a lot to us. I'll be happy. It means a lot to me.
Erica Ferrando, Eyewitness News.
And to report a blighted or abandoned home, call 311 to submit a complaint to code enforcement. Pictures help, and if you believe it poses an imminent danger like a collapsing wall, include that in your report and it could speed up the process. Oliver Thomas also encourages emailing your city council member.